Yeah, so kind of the singles that you've been putting out this year, you've changed the sound up a bit. Like it's still punky, but it's a bit more melodic.
Yeah,
a bit more that kind of driven.
Yeah.
What kind of what pushed that change? What kind of pushed you in that direction and prompted it?
Is it natural? More of a
Yeah,
natural
it
one,
was.
right?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to write a disco track, I guess. I mean, me personally, I love disco, so like, yeah, I think
What
it
track
didn't,
are you
it didn't
referring
feel
to,
too
Max?
peculiar, did it? What do you mean?
What track are you referring to?
Forget myself. Yeah. Yeah, it
Sorry,
didn't feel too unnatural. It is new, like a bit of a new direction for us, but it fits in with like
I think that's
the rest
something
of the stuff we play.
Something we've got quite a lot is that people keep saying like, yeah, the new stuff is a bit different. It's the same, but it's different. But I think for us, it didn't feel like we sat down and went, right, this is like a new direction for us. We're going to start writing songs like this. I think it was just something we just naturally progressed to.
It was well received as well. It wasn't like, oh my god, what the hell is this? It was like, this is really cool. Because like, who one of you said it, like, the most punk thing you can do as a punk band is not write a punk song.
Yeah.
Like a punk band writing a disco song is like, whoa. That's like the reaction that.
Yeah, I think Forget Myself was very much a song like, should we release it, should we not? Is it right? Is it the right time?
Mm-hmm.
But
the demo,
why not?
if we released that,
Oh mate,
then it
don't
would
want to
be-
hear the demo.
Then it would be a different story.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like we recorded it with Thomas Mitchener at Broadfield Studios, and he brought it to
life.
Yeah.
to what it is now. It's,
Mitch
like,
kills
it's
it,
actually
man.
quite heavy,
Yeah.
like, in places, and that's what we tried to make, like a heavy disco song.
Have you ever written a song that's completely stripped of all punk elements? So there's not been one released. Have you ever written a tune like that has no?
Well, I mean, I think like Forget Myself felt like it had
While
no
we were writing
punk
it.
elements really. But then, I mean, when we all played it together, like separately from writing it, it came to life and sort of sounded pretty natural.
I think we do definitely have songs that don't have that much of a punk edge, but they're just unreleased.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's songs that would work better as a collective of tracks rather than just a single or a B-side or something you just do live as like a novelty thing.
Yeah.
You know, like Love is a Future Computer, but only we sometimes play them at our yard parties or just like times that feel more exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
We'll chuck in a song that we haven't released just for the people that have something for them, like a little gift. Like hear this song that we've like we have a song. What was it? The stereo song.
Bad Dream.
Bad
Dream.
Dream.
Bad
Yeah.
Dream, and we've only ever played it once, and it was at one of our yard parties. And so those people are the only ones that have ever heard it.
I think if you talk to a lot of bands, they'll have a collection of songs that they have that they love for whatever reason you've just never heard. You know, we have like about 5 or so stripped back songs that we may never release or may, but
Who knows?
who knows? Yeah.
You were speaking about a wee bit before as well how it felt like quite a gradual thing for you, and it didn't feel like a sudden change in direction. Do you think in that sense maybe what motivates you to make music has changed a little bit with the new style?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's a lot of like, it's easy to get lost in that whole like post-punk scene. I think at the moment. I mean, I didn't really put us in there anyway. I don't really know where to put us, to be honest. But like, I think, yeah, it didn't. I wasn't nervous or anything, you know, because you know when a tune's good, and we sounded really good playing it together. So yeah.
To go off what Max said about that post-punk scene.
There's so much of it.
Well, I mean, it's also just been given this label of post-punk. You know, bands like Idols and Shame Fontaines and like no disrespect to those bands, they're good bands,
Yeah.
but
Love
and
it.
I'm like the music as well. But I think sometimes it's a lot of bands coming through have really got caught up in that whole kind of area of like the genre of music effectively. And I think we just really wanted to make it clear that we're just a different outfit to all of that. We don't want to be muddled up with all that mash of music, you know what I mean? So.
The thing maybe do have a wee bit in common with some of those bands though is that you have a political edge to quite a lot of your stuff. It's laced throughout all the songs, some more than others.
Thing is, it's like that's like quite a battle for me. Like lyrically, like sometimes I'll find myself like feeling the need to talk about like society and political issues and stuff like that, and then wanting to write a song about going to the shops or something, or you know, being in love or something. You know.
It's like you said earlier though, with Down.
It's a battle.
With Down though, we wrote that, was it
4 years ago? Yeah.
And it's about Brexit, and it's, well, somewhat.
Yeah,
And
somewhat.
it's still relevant now.
Yeah, we would practice it in the studio the other day, and like, I was just like, yeah, this is still like so relevant. Like,
I think
feels really weird. It's a bad thing, I think. But
It is a
Yeah,
bad thing,
yeah.
but it's still relevant.
I think
but-
politics is something like nowadays you just can't ignore.
Yeah.
You literally cannot ignore it. And to be fair, like even some of the new songs you could reference it. Like Max talks a lot about like the apocalypse
Escape.
in 21 Lessons and I'm Not Your Man, and like I guess it kind of feels like that sometimes. So yeah,
It's just crap, mate, isn't it?
yeah. There's
moment,
definitely references.
In a few years' time, you'll be doing interviews, and the backdrop would just be like Trump riding a dragon or something. With fireballs.
Well,
everywhere.
a friend was, I think Louis for a band called Black Mamba Fever in Sheffield. He was telling me about I think it was a Jarvis Cocker quote. He was saying about love and politics, about that, how that's the only thing he'd write about, and how they're both so similar in a weird way. So I guess that is kind of pretty much all we write about. I guess everything's love and politics. So I think that's what he was saying. You know, so
There's a bit of politics and love in pretty much everything.
exactly.
You do.
They're the only two things you could write about, really.
Yeah.
And Satan.
Do you find it more cathartic writing a love song or political song? Do you think?
I don't know. It literally just depends, like, you know, how I'm feeling. Like sometimes I'll just write all the lyrics in one go, you know, and I'll be on a roll. Other times I'll be trying to like just splurge out any filler shit, which usually turns out crap. I don't know. Probably a love song. I prefer love songs to political songs because it reminds me of the world and how crap it all is.
I feel more cathartic when playing, when I'm trying to write, if it's more of like something that's pretty or melodic. I suppose it's more, I feel I'm expressing more than if I love writing like punky, hard stuff, but I feel like that's more expressive. I don't know.
It's easy to write. Well, it's not easy to write a good song, but it's easy to write a song, but I think it's quite hard to put like some emotion into it. And
Yeah.
you know, you can sound good, but then you can actually like put yourself into it a bit more.
Also, I think most people think that a lot of political songs have to be angry
No, not
in
at
a
all.
sense, and like you feel like, yeah, like most of the punk scene in the 70s was all angry politics. You know, it's like why couldn't you write a love song about politics? Why couldn't you write like an angry song about love or something like that? You know, and most people only are best writing when they're angry or sad. I think like a lot of people would say that, but it's really hard to write a happy song sometimes. You know,
Especially if you're not happy.
especially if you're not
exactly.
happy.
Yeah.
And were the last four done at the Albion Rooms?
Sorry.
Were the last four singles done at the Albion Rooms?
No,
Or did you-
Long Way to the Sun was done at Albion Rooms, and then the Forget Myself and 21 Lessons
Done at
were
Broadfield
done at
Studios.
Broadfield Studio with Thomas Mitchell.
That's quite interesting because to me they all sound like a group of songs that are quite together and quite collective.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you work that then? If you're recording in different studios and working with different people, how do you manage to get all the songs still?
Well, I mean, when we recorded "Long Way to the Sun," we did it with Carl and Ollie Burden, and they recorded songs to us before. They'd done "Good Times,"
And
"Down,"
yeah.
"Fuck Yeah,"
So far out.
"So Far Out," and then
Love
we
this
did
one.
"I'm Not Your Man" with Tom, Mitch, and then these "Forget Myself" and 21 Lessons. So we've kind of never really recorded with anyone else in a way. So the reason it sounded so similar is probably just because they knew who we were as people. Like we got each other, and they probably heard "I'm Not Your Man," understood where we were trying to go.
Yeah, they understand the.
There are differences between "Long Way to the Sun" and the more recent stuff, but I agree they do kind of feel like one thing.
Where do you want to go, mate? In the dress?
We can always go to our dressing room. It's just a bit small in there. That's all. It's up to you.
So you've worked with a variety of producers then. You spoke about the three there. What have you learned from each one? Do you learn different things from each one, and what are kind of some of the main lessons you've picked up?
So, good question. Definitely learn different things from each of them. Like Carl is very much a performance-led guy. Like whenever we recorded with them, we did it live. And especially for the first few songs, like Down, Good Times, Fuck Yeah, we all played in the same room, and he actually made us like play it as if it was a gig, like actually go for it. So that was something that, and it definitely captured like energy. But then with Mitch, he's much more. We still played live like together, but to a click. He's much more methodical about how it goes and how each sound like works with it, like all the others.
Well, Mitch doesn't have an engineer either. It's just
Mitch
him.
is all him. It's just,
You know,
it's just
so
him in his like parents'
kinda
garage.
One-man band,
Yeah.
you know.
But he's awesome.
But then we also work with Youth from Killing Joke in Granada. That was probably the most interesting out of all the experiences because it was just really wacky.
It was like kind of throw things and see if it sticks. That's kind of that was his
It
thing,
was-
but it was really
we had-
nice again another thing to learn.
We had essentially like 3 days of recording to
Mate,
do
the
5
The
songs.
studio was nuts.
It was-
Honestly, it was
yeah.
like on a mountain in fucking
It's
Granada.
called
like,
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain,
It was a house as well. You lived there. You know.
amazing
I was in
views.
Paul and a sauna. We went in the sauna with him, and it turned out it wasn't on for like the first 20 minutes.
So we sat in a cold
and
sauna
making
having a
bunch
chat
of
with you.
guys, yeah. And then he started throat singing, and then brought some instruments in.
It was
Yeah,
quite.
it
It
was-
was, it was
That
quite
got
therapeutic.
strange.
It was
No, it
pretty
was quite-
wild.
It was quite nice.
And then we're just replacing it. We're drinking rum, so we're just replacing everything.
But youth and Michael as engineer
Tangent there.
kind of remind me of like what it was like to write with John McClure and Ed from Reverend and the Makers, because you kind of got John and Youth who are kind of the creatives. They talk a lot. They kind of lay everything out. They do all that, and then you got Ed and Michael in the corner, kind of actually making
Yeah, happen.
all the logistics of it happen. You know, like
Producing them. Engineering.
effectively, yeah.
Actually being an
But like
engineer.
one couldn't work without the other. They were similar to work.
Michael
with,
was still really creative as well.
yeah, super. Michael played keys on a lot of the tracks. Like he was, yeah, really interesting.
Do you have quite a good idea then of how you like to work in the studio now? Has that changed the idea of how you like to work?
Mitch is probably our guy.
Yeah,
Mitch is
yeah.
our guy.
Mitch has
I
nailed
think
it.
just
hasn't
the way everything's come out, it's like he kind of just does the basics really well. Not saying that, not disregarding him as like he can not do great things, because what he did was great, but like everything's there and it sounds great.
he? Mhm.
And
Well, I
that's,
think
that's all they need. That's all the songs needed. He serves the song really well.
half of it is like the environment in the room. Do you know what I mean? So like, if we don't vibe with the room straight away, like, I think it's important to have a producer to like get you in the spirit, you know. And
I
like
don't think-
Mitch does that.
Yeah, I
and,
don't think it's to say that like we didn't vibe off any of the others, or we had
No,
a
not
bad
at all,
we had
no.
a bad time. Like we did the job that was right for those songs, and they came out fucking brilliantly.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with Mitch, it just really works. Everything
Mhm.
we do, and we've also got a sound in the 2 that we just released, and the next 2 coming up. And I'm Not Your Man, we've got a sound that we just get along with. We just get it. We all get each other. We know what's going on. We know how to do it. So if we went in again, it would just be super easy. It would flow really nicely. So yeah, Mitch is our guy, I guess.
How do you feel being in a band and creating music has affected you most as people?
Interesting
I'm a
question.
lot more depressed and just run down and unhealthy and sad.
I think writing music and trying to be in a band is different. I think writing music with a collective of people is a really great thing. It's just when you have the time constraints and the pressure to deliver something that's expected to do well in the industry, that's where it can potentially be a downer. But like if we weren't in a band and we didn't have to release a song in say like a month, and we could just write and record whatever the hell we wanted, like the Beatles. We literally spoke about this in the band when because they were like retired from touring, just did whatever they want because they didn't have all like what we can do nowadays. They had to be really creative in how they recorded. That's when I think you could just relax, and it could be like a really like cathartic sort of thing.
There's a lot of freedom though, I think, in like being a songwriter as opposed to like many other jobs. Like you can say what the hell you want, and like so that's made me like want to like develop my knowledge on loads of things, you know, like literature and poetry and films and nature and loads of stuff. Because you can properly like delve into like delve. Is that a word?
Delve.
Cheers, man. Yeah, you can like delve into like loads of different things that you don't usually think of if you're a fucking gardener or something. Do you know what I mean?
I think actually that's a good. I think it's definitely educational.
And also like
Definitely.
I always remember like the reason we started is just to like have a complete good time, like have fun. So yeah, I think like that's always important to remember. Going back on your comment about like releasing the right thing all the time.
I agree. I think every band would have kind of a different answer to this. Is probably quite a long answer, but I just think
Keep
no
it short,
one.
James.
If you don't do it, like no one really understands
Rambler.
the strain like it puts on you. Like if you're touring a lot and you're trying to write songs at the same time, also trying to just live and like have money and work a part-time job, and you're not at uni, like, and you're trying to worry about all these little bits like money and merch and blah blah. It really takes like a strain, but then you have these kind of moments of like remind yourself why you're doing it. And it kind of makes up for it all. It's really up and down,
Very.
but like
But like you said, I wouldn't want to be a
fuck being a gardener,
Yeah.
you know. So there you go.
That's a good answer.
Wouldn't mind interior design.
Cool, yeah.
Football referee.
In a couple, I've just got one left. In a couple of the new tunes, I'm Not Your Man and 21 Lines, you have these references to the apocalypse. If you had to pick one album to soundtrack your apocalypse, one of the
To soundtrack my apocalypse. Probably The Doors. The Doors.
Oh yeah,
Watch
yeah,
some
man.
eerie like
This
that.
is the end.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
who's
Or
it
like
that-
Jim Morrison's solo album.
Tiny Tim. I'll be fucking.
Mate,
Or
yeah.
Infest or Ass Nest, King Gizzard and the Lizard
That's
Wizard.
literally about
Yeah.
hell
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
and like Earth deforming and the apocalypse.
Any Radiohead album.
but yeah.
Radiohead.
That's what we would spiral into.
Or
To
even
hell with, yeah.
Showbiz by Muse, because that's weird.
I think, yeah.
Or just like the opposite, the most calm music. It's
Yeah.
all this chaos going on.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be nice. Like Walk on the Wild Side.
Yeah, that's
Something
that's
really
cool.
ambient.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, have you ever seen those horror movies where they play those really nice songs
Oh,
while
yeah,
someone's
yeah,
just
yeah.
stabbing someone to death? You
Yeah.
know, like in Reservoir Dogs when he cuts
Yeah,
off his
yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
What song is? Oh, I can't remember the song.
Not
But
in
yeah.
White Satin.
I think that Velvet Underground album would be a really cool one.
He's
One with
too
a
cool.
banana.
So cool.
Well, the Planets by Gustav Holst would be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Just epic.
Or Apollo.
Or any Leonard Cohen album.
Any
Yeah.
yeah.
Loads of bloody albums. Right? One in one,
Waits.
didn't you?
Joy Division.
Can't wait 20.
Yeah. Mr. Conway Twitty. No, he's way too cheerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tried to just give that whole speech. Anyway, sorry.
I was just going to say thank you very much.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
You're very
Cheers.
welcome.